All right. It's probably a little bit of a delay. Oh, yeah. Look at it. There it is. It's live. Now we just got to hopefully... Oh, yeah, there it is. Hopefully the sound is both loud enough and clearer than normal. What up, Internet? We'll give it a second for things to settle. Usually when I first open up... Oh, I have to be able to see the chat. Here's the chat. Top chat, pop-out chat, toggle timestamps. That is a lot of chat. It's been a little while since I've live streamed, so I just figured I would do a sort of a casual... The sound is on point. Okay, good. Loud and clear. Excellent. Figured I'd do a little random live stream. This is both a small test of some gear and just a casual post-CES January, finally taking a breath of fresh air chat. That's kind of what this is. What's good? You need a pop filter. Yeah, probably. I think I'm pretty close to the mic, and you probably, at this distance from it, should get a pop filter, and I think it kind of like clips around the outside, and then you won't hear the P's and T's as much as you do. But I don't have one yet, so for now, we'll be okay. This is a Rode Procaster. There's a couple similar to it, but it's a top address podcasting mic. It's called the Rode Procaster. That's the name of the mic. Yeah. All right, so I see the chat. I've tweeted the link already. Yep, that worked. My internet seems to be working so that there's not much delay, so that's good. And this is literally going to disappear as soon as the stream is over. Oh, someone said, what about the Pixel 4? I have seen those rumors. There's some leaks saying it would be a notchless phone. I hope that's accurate, but I don't have any insider info, so I'm not about to like spill anything. But I do hope, because I currently have oh look, I got a notification that I'm live. Pixel 3 XL, current daily phone, and it's fine. Obviously, it's not the most amazing phone ever because everyone hates that notch, but it is an amazing camera, and I'm specifically looking forward to the next Pixel, because every time someone has the best camera in any phone, I want to see how good the next version's camera is. All right, so how can I think I can do a little oh wait, I know how to see all the chats. I got to go to YouTube Studio. Can I have a switch? I can't just give away my switch. See a little painted Android back there, by the way. It's pretty cool. All right. YouTube Studio, live stream, and then I can go into look at the chat. How are we looking? 1080p? Pretty good. Oh, there's super chat too. I forgot. There is super chat. Someone said, I supremely enjoy your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you. Did you check out the Razer Tomahawk Elite? No, I did not. I'm assuming that was at CES, and I was there, but I did not see that. What did you get to do at CES? Oh man, CES was a lot. It was mostly a busy couple of days of both meeting a lot of people and a lot of companies, and trying to see what kind of cool stuff was actually there. Did some videos. That's Mac, by the way. Did some cool videos on things that we actually did see that were worth their own videos, and we have a whole lot of other footage of things that we saw there that weren't necessarily going to be in its own video, so you haven't seen that footage yet, but all kinds of TVs. CES is basically a TV show at this point. All kinds of other stuff like that. A lot of Pixels, a lot of strange smartphone concepts. We saw the FlexPi Royale. We have a lot of footage of it, that flexible smartphone tablet hybrid thing. It's not ready. I'll just say that straight up. It's flexible smartphones are not ready yet. They're a cool idea, and like I can show you the footage. I'll probably include it in some future video. It's cool in concept, but actually using it, if you watch anyone else's video about it, you can immediately see it's hilariously bad. So, and somehow it won some like Best of CES awards. I don't know how that happened, but it's a thing. Fortnite and Marquez Brownlee. You know, I don't think that's ever gonna stop. I think I just have to embrace that at this point. Out of a hole punch, slider mechanism, dual screen, or motorized cameras, which do you think is the best method and why? Also, do you have a method of your own? Hole punch, slider, dual screen. I like the slider thing. I was kind of brainstorming, and I don't know if it's worth a whole video, but about like what happens when we get to bezel-less phones. Are we just going to realize it wasn't worth it? Like all that struggle and the hole punch displays and the ugly notches? Are we just going to, I don't know. I personally like the slider thing though. What do you think Android Q will be named? You guys have any theories for Android Q? Android, LMNO, Oreo, Pie. Q is weird because there's not a lot of desserts or just words in general that start with Q. I literally don't. Let me Google that real quick. Quiche? Quiche is a food, but isn't it usually desserts? Because even pie is a dessert. It started off as like all sweets. Android Q names. Now that Android P has a name, it's going to be Android 10 also. All these 10s are coming up. We got the iPhone 10, which is a big deal. We got Galaxy S10 coming up. That's a big deal. We're going to have Android 10Q coming up. Let's see. P was easy. Q is where the real challenge begins. I found a Verge article that has a bunch of solutions. Quirks. Queso. Queen of Pudding. I can't even pronounce some of these. Quibble. That's hilarious. I don't think it's going to be a dessert. I think Q is going to be the first one that's not a dessert. I have no idea what it's going to be called, though, to be honest. Quesadilla. Interesting. Quesadilla. That's the closest thing I can think of that starts with a Q that could be some sort of dessert. Do you have a Tony Stark Infinity War suit? No. Did I give off that vibe? Is that a thing people have? I didn't know that was a thing people had. Has your Pixel 3 experience gotten better since the last update? I have the new update now, and I know I mentioned also I had some weird problems with my Pixel 3, which is why for CES I switched to the OnePlus 6T, the McLaren edition, but any 6T would have been great, but that I really missed the camera of the Pixel. So I put my SIM card back in the Pixel. But before that update, I was having some problems with a little bit of occasional stutter and lag. I was having camera slowness problems, which they've already addressed and they said they're going to fix, but I think a lot of people have had slow cameras in the Pixel. And that's something people talk about a lot. Is it really the best camera if you can't rely on it to get the shot? No, it's not. You have to be a fast camera too. But this is the best quality camera, so that's what I really missed about this. And I also had this weird bug, which was just basically I tried to make a couple calls and they didn't go through, and the person on the other end just heard like silence. So it's definitely a weird bug. I haven't received that bug yet since then, but hey, I'm back on the Pixel. Have you tried the Sony WH-1000 M3? No, but I think I'm going to have to because those are getting some seriously good reviews, and I'm all about good headphones. Right now, my wireless headphones of choice are the Surface headphones by Microsoft, which I like them because they're very comfortable, modern, USB-C charging, long battery life. The Sonys essentially have all those same features, great sound quality, probably better noise cancellation, USB-C charging, long battery life, etc. So I think I'm going to have to give those a shot too. But if you already have a pair of Surface headphones or Bose like me, you might not need to upgrade, but I think I'm going to try them. How did Google mess up so bad with the Pixel Slate? I don't know, man. They rushed it. It's pretty much what it comes down to. Thoughts on the Pixel Lite? The Pixel Lite rumors, they're interesting, right? The Pixel Lite, for those unfamiliar, there's this whole video leaking the whole device. I mean, there were some rumors before, but it's basically a slightly smaller, much cheaper Pixel 3. Same camera, allegedly, as this amazing phone, but, a lower-end Snapdragon chip, a cheaper phone, an LCD display, and a headphone jack. And That's a strange little combination of things. It sounds like a good idea. Honestly, a lot of companies need to focus on making cheaper phones for that massively growing market right now. That's why you're going to see Apple and a lot of other companies start to attack that lower price point. But I usually hold my thoughts until I actually get to use that phone. Are you still using the Storinator at all? Great question, Adam. The Storinator that Linus came and set up that I made that whole video about, no, I am not using it at all anymore. And I can tell you why. The answers aren't even really that interesting, but oh, hey, what's up, Linus? The answers are not that exciting, but basically it's a workflow decision. The Jellyfish that we switched to is extremely similar as far as what it is. It's a bunch of hard drives. But it's not just backup. What we're using it for is simultaneous editing. It's network storage, so all the computers here are attached to it. And the workflow problems that we attacked were Final Cut related. So now we have all these project files and things where one person can open an edit on one computer, close it down. I can open up the same exact edit and pick up where they left off. That is amazing. Mac loves it too. What do you think the new iPhone will look like? I don't know if you guys have seen those extremely ugly renders with the like triple camera on the back, but they're not like quite lined up at all. I don't think those are real. Or I mean, I know they're not real, they're just speculation, but I don't think that's what it's going to look like. iPhone 11, I think, is going to be, if that's even what they call it, I think that's going to be a really, really special phone. I hope, this is not what I think anymore, this is what I hope. I hope they do a whole lot of things that are very unlikely. I hope they do USB-C. I hope they do this boxier look. I'm basically pulling things from the iPad Pro here. I hope they do a boxier look like the iPad Pro. I hope they do a 120 hertz display, and I hope it's OLED. Like, there's a whole lot of things that I hope that aren't necessarily going to happen. But what I think they will do, I think they'll do a great phone. Lordy, you should have just let me know. There's no reason you couldn't do that on the Storinator. You're probably right. The situation just unfolded perfectly for us to just dive right in that Jellyfish workflow. What do you think of free online classes? Will it ever be more popular than traditional school? We teach video editing and VFX on our channel. Oh, that's cool. I mean, most of what I learned, basically, as far as video editing, especially the fundamentals, the basics, came from me watching YouTube videos. So I don't know if it'll ever be more popular than actual in-person classes. That's kind of a whole institution in many countries, but yeah, I definitely find that to be super valuable. Also, by the way, if you guys are wondering, the other phone that I carry right now is the Space Gray iPhone XS Max. So my favorite iPhone, XS Max. I have a notification from Dave2D. He did a video about the cheaper Pixel 3 Lite. I'm excited. Pixel 3 XL. What's your favorite track from Eminem's Kamikaze? I'm going to go with Lucky You. That's probably my favorite. Can I dog sit Mac? Luke wants to know if he can dog sit Mac. Yeah, he said Max. It's Mac with a C, like M-A-C. So you know. Thoughts on micro LED? That was the thing we saw at CES. I saw a lot of sponsored videos about it, but basically Samsung is making a micro LED TV. Don't even have to worry too much about what they're calling it, but it's this modular TV system where you can put a bunch of panels that are borderless next to each other and make the exact shape of a display you want, which is a really cool idea. You know what I want to make? I want to make a whole video all about CES demos and how pointless they kind of are, but that's like the whole point of CES. CES, for those who haven't been, is just a bunch of demos. And they're funny because the demos that go well are really cool and exciting and interesting, like that self-driving taxi demo that I did. It's a demo, right? But you also don't know if they're ever going to become real products. And the demos that fail or that aren't that great, which there's a lot of them, are hilarious because the whole point of going to CES is to do your demo, and to have an awful demo at CES is really common. I don't know what the question was, I forgot, but there's a whole lot of bad demos at CES. Oh, right. So the modular TV. The modular TV is another one of those things it's a demo. Like, most people don't regularly need to change the size and shape of their TV in their home. This is more of like maybe a commercial application. But if it goes well, then It's a cool demo. It's a great video. It's a great ad. Yeah. Are you excited about the foldable screen phone? I touched on this a second ago, but they're not ready. I'm excited for it. I think it'll be cool. It makes a great demo. But I did get to play with the FlexPi Royale at CES, and it's not ready at all. Like, not even close. Shout out to everyone in the chat right now and all the super chats. It's moving very fast. Like, I'm trying to read them in the regular chat. Oh, great. Mute. But there's a lot happening. Please turn on slow mode, somebody said. I don't know if that will help. Slow mode is on. I think slow mode is like it's a setting where you can only comment once every like couple minutes. But if there's 17,000 people, then that's not really going to matter. So. Have you figured out a way to hang soundproofing panels without hurting the way? I don't know what that exactly means, but we have, as you can see, some soundproofing stuff. If you look around this studio in general, there's a lot of soundproofing. That's not even the right word. There's just a lot of sound absorbing materials, and they help a lot. Couches, foam in the ceiling, on the walls, bass traps in the corners, just a lot of materials in general. How's Apollo doing? Great question. How's Apollo doing? Update on Apollo for those who don't know. Okay. For those who didn't see the original video, I got hit by a truck. Yes, sad story. Not really that bad. Was sideswiped off the road. A lot of body damage to my car. It's a Tesla Model S. They're notorious for taking a long time to get fixed. That was about 2 months ago at this point. The latest I heard from the body shop, I have texted the guy every once in a while, is they had to do the suspension work first. They did that. Texted me an update a couple days ago on that. Then they had to do a lot of the cosmetic stuff next, and then just repairing and new parts. They had a lot of the parts in stock. So basically a lot of the stuff he's just finishing up now is the paint, the cosmetics, and then he's got to re-wrap the things that were wrapped. So I had a wrap on my car. If you put new doors on the car, the new doors are not wrapped. So he's going to wrap those parts too. But they've been very thorough about it. This is a body shop in New York where I was on the phone with the guy when my car first got there. He's like, I saw your video with McLaren. We do McLarens all the time up here. Apparently Teslas are like the cheapest cars they deal with. So I have a pretty good level of confidence that the car is in good hands. And the last update I got is maybe by the end of next week, he'll be done wrapping. So that's actually pretty close. Do you plan on doing a lot more collabs this year? In some ways, yes. So I haven't really told you guys why I'm doing this live stream. It's not like any crazy great reason, but we are definitely starting a podcast. And I mentioned this in the video. I don't really want to like jump right in and just record me talking for an hour. Like, this is just me talking for an hour. This isn't really a podcast. This is just me talking to you guys for a bit. But like really topical, interesting discussions based on things that are happening in the tech world. A lot of those will involve collabs, I think. There will be other creators that will be on. I was hanging out with a fellow creator, YouTuber today. Other business people, CEOs maybe. Like, it opens up a whole nother world of a new format of like exploring a topic and like really getting in the weeds. Like, I don't really get extremely down and in the details in the videos, as many of you know. It's much more surface level, and we sort of dive into things as necessary. But podcasts, you can really get into it. So that's my little teaser. That's why I have a Procaster in front of me, is we're messing with the equipment and the setup. We settled on a name yesterday, but I'm not going to reveal it yet. It's still pretty early. Are you still considering the Roadster your main? Roadster is not a main car if you live in the Northeast. You do not want a small sports car on summer tires as your main car in a place where it snows. I am really excited for Roadster to hopefully come out sometime in 2020, maybe next year. But yeah, no, that's not a main type of car. The referral program is ending. I'm not going to drop the referral link right now, but if you guys have heard, if you refer people to buy a Tesla, there's this referral program where if they use your code or your link, you'll get some sort of kickback for it. There's some early prizes, like if you refer 2 people that you know to buy Teslas, then you get this little bag, little leather bag, or a little piece of luggage and stuff like that. And at the highest level, the highest prize is if you refer 55 people to buy Teslas, you get, each person is 2% off of a 2020 Roadster Founders Edition when it comes out. And I actually reached that, so allegedly I'll also get a Founders Series Roadster when it comes out, and I've asked Elon a bunch of questions about it and gotten a bunch of answers. Can I have the Storinator? Nah, sorry. I love the videos. Thank you. Hello from Canada. Hello, Canada. 2019. Fun time. Can you use my music on your channel sometime? I actually have a couple artists that I'm pretty close with that make amazing music in the videos, and I'm usually pretty careful to link that exact song or the title of it in the description. So anytime you hear music you like in a video, check below that video. It'll probably have the song info. Sergey just donated but didn't say anything. Hi. Hello from India. Hello. Hello, India. Hello from Germany. Hi, Germany. I can tell what this is turning into. I'm going to stop. What was the biggest disappointment of CES? The biggest disappointment of CES. You guys should all give your biggest disappointment of CES too. I'm going to say the FlexPi. I feel like that's too easy. I didn't expect that to be that good. I didn't expect the FlexPi to be that good. I mean, CES had a lot of TV stuff. The rollable TV wasn't that insane, but it was still cool. We don't have a price or any release date yet, so that's not a disappointment at all. Dr. Fuji was there. That was not a disappointment at all. Honestly, my biggest disappointment might be the fact that I did end up getting sick like the couple days after. But that's my fault, so I can't really even be disappointed in that either. If I had to pick a product, yeah, the FlexPi was pretty much the worst thing that I actually saw at CES. You know what was weird? All the autonomous, like, how do I describe them? There's all these autonomous cars that people are trying to make, self-driving cars. So you have to design the interior of the car to be like something you'd be comfortable letting drive yourself. So they have all these benches that face the inside, and there's no steering wheel. But there was all these companies that did these autonomous car interiors that don't make cars. So they just had like cars in their booth, but like, I don't know. It was kind of a weird vibe.
Talk about the membership button, because it shows
Oh, yeah.
new members and people are using the emoji in chat.
Oh, people are using emoji in chat. Sick. Oh, new member. Oh, very cool. Okay. Yes. There's a join button. There's a join button down below on the channel. We are super early with it. Like, it's less than 3 months old, but the idea is we'll be able to give extra content, extra perks to people who join. It's $5 a month to join, and then we have a small list of perks that we've committed to doing this year in 2019. I think some of them will revolve around the upcoming podcast, so they haven't really started rolling out and happening yet. But I've sent some messages through the members only like community page, and we've talked a little bit in the comments there. But it's pretty early, so we're just trying to get an idea of what type of extra stuff you guys are interested in. Behind the scenes seems pretty obvious, but there's got to be more. But to those of you who are, I see Keno R just subscribed, is a new member. Thank you. Someone said, "Did you know Nico Rosberg when he bumped into you?" That's a hilarious story that a lot of people don't know. So the Nico Rosberg incident that I think a lot of people saw his video. He's an F1 driver, super successful F1 racer, and I have mad respect for those guys because they drive a lot faster than I've ever driven. Super skilled. He has like a vlog, and he was going around CES, similar to how you might see like Will Smith walk around with camera guys, or somebody who's just getting into YouTube. He has a lot of YouTube videos. He was at CES hanging out with Mercedes. I was at that sort of Mercedes self-driving looking car thing, getting some shots. I was approached by somebody But we were on our way to a meeting with Razer where we had a briefing at a certain time in their booth. I don't even know if it was in the same hall. It was like a
Complete opposite.
opposite corner of a different hall. So we were kind of getting that shot, and then we're going to head over there. But as you can probably imagine, at CES, people are just kind of bumping into you all the time, saying hi. So somebody bumped into me. It wasn't Nico, but it was somebody who's like, hey, my friend really wants to meet you. Can you just wait here for him? And I'm like kind of on my way to this Razer thing, but I said, okay, sure, fine, I'll wait for a bit. We wait for a bit. Nico comes over. He says hi. He shows me a couple videos, and we kind of chat for a second. And then turns out the guy was also like recording us, like that was the camera guy. So was kind of caught off guard on my way to another event, but I did meet Nico Rosberg. And then I saw him on TV like a week ago, and I was like, oh, I met that guy at CES. He's pretty cool. Why don't you like the Note 9? It's got a great camera and speed, but I don't see you talking about it very much. You're right about the Note 9. It is a great camera. It's also a huge battery, great, probably the best screen still in any phone. No notch. Solid phone all around, but not a huge fan of Samsung software. I need to try One UI. That's my huge asterisk on this, is I have used a lot of Samsung stuff in the past and always had roughly the same complaint, which is, their software is not my favorite. But I need to try One UI. But I do like the Note 9. Note 8 won my best smartphone of the year for 2018. I don't know if you knew that. What do you think about the future of Tesla after they laid off 7% of their workforce? I think it's exciting that they're actually doubling down on Model 3. I think a lot of the headlines that we're seeing now is from Elon's letter to Tesla, which is, here's where we're at, here's what we're doing, here's part of that letter said, yeah, we're laying off 7% of people. Thank you for all your work. This is to double down and focus on margins for Model 3. And I think that's part of being on their way to a $35,000 car. But of course, a lot of headlines are, oh, is Tesla going bankrupt? They're firing almost 10% of their workforce. It's part of the process. They've done things like this before where they sort of purge a small amount to boost up margins. Part of being a public company. You gotta make statements like this, you know? I think Model 3 is the future, so I don't think it's a horrible move. Stock Android or bust? Some people might say that. I don't think that's entirely true, but I'm into stock Android. Best notch? Vega Das, not going to say his name. He said best notch. And I don't know if there is a best notch. I think a lot of people would argue that hole punch thing is a notch. But I think so far, my favorite notch, this seems so forced, I don't know why I'm saying this, is the teardrop notch from OnePlus and many others. But the OnePlus 60's little teardrop notch, not so bad. You know what? I'm gonna actually take that back. Essential Phone. Essential Phone's even smaller notch. Thank you for the awesome content. Thank you, Jason, for being a new member. Let me scroll back. Okay. Do you think the iPhone will start getting more hardware features of Android phones as Apple moves towards services and putting phones on the back burner? Here's the thing. There's this whole thing. I was going to make a video too. We went to CES around that Apple earnings call time, so I didn't make this video. But the whole Apple is doomed thing because the iPhone's not like breaking records like it used to. I think Rene Ritchie put it best. Rene Ritchie, if you haven't heard of him, amazing channel, brand new as of I think 1 year ago. But he put it best. The iPhone for Apple is going from being a delivery system. No, it's going from being a money maker to a platform to build more money makers on. Does that make sense? They made so much money from the iPhone over the past 10 years that now you can build things on top of the fact that 1 billion people use iPhones. You can build apps, obviously, services, like you mentioned, iTunes. You can build a lot of things on top of the fact that a lot of people already own the iPhone and make money from that instead of focusing so much on growing how much you make from the iPhone. The amount of money Apple makes from the iPhone is no longer exponentially shooting up every year. Not the death of Apple. Okay. I hope I said that correctly. Thanks, Renee. We love your videos. Thank you. Expectations about OnePlus 7? I've only seen one render, not even a leak. It was just speculation. Oh, remember that super staged looking OnePlus leak where they had this like conference room? Yeah, like a meeting room with Carl and like others. I think that was probably fake or staged or just dumb. I think OnePlus 7 is going to be a nice phone. I think they'll probably bump up the price a little bit more again, but I don't really have any specific predictions other than they'll probably do something about that notch. They'll probably either do a slider or a super thin top bezel or something like that. Say my name if you can pronounce it. Aman Ansari. Easy. Easy. I refuse to buy a Tesla until they include a 4K camera. I don't know if you're talking about the backup camera, but it's actually already pretty good. And there's a front-facing camera as part of the autopilot system that you can tap into the software and use as a dash cam. So you have a built-in dash cam in the car. So, I don't know. It's got some pretty good cameras already. Do you ever flex your sub count to your opponents in Ultimate Frisbee matches? If not, what kind of celebrations do you do? I don't. Yeah, that's kind of a different world. Nobody really cares. What phone is in your pocket right now? I don't have any pocket or phones in my pockets, but I mentioned a little bit earlier, my favorite iPhone and my favorite Android phone, Pixel 3 XL, iPhone XS Max. Any thoughts on the Samsung modular TV? I talked about it about 10 minutes ago. Just rewind like 10 minutes. Thank you guys who are signing up to be new members. It looks like there's about 18,000 of you in this live chat right now. Hi. Thanks for tuning in. This is just kind of like a random chat for the beginning of 2019 and also an attempt at seeing what this podcasting gear is like. How, if I can ask those of you listening, there's a little lag, but I'll ask anyway. How does it like look and sound? Somebody said this is the crispiest live stream they've ever seen. That's a pretty good review, if you ask me. But I'm sort of moving in and out of the mic a little bit. I can lean back once in a while. I think I might end up wanting to use one of those arms where I can like lean back more and bring the mic with me. You know what I mean? If you watch the Joe Rogan podcast or pretty much any audio video version of a podcast, you've seen these. But how does it look/sound? Very smooth. It's crispy AF. It's crispy, super clean. Looks and sounds good. Not really a whole lot of complaints. So that's a good sign. Loud and clear. Good. Nice. The video's a bit fuzzy. Yeah. I mean, bitrate, you can only go so high with bitrate before. I mean, this isn't going to be as crisp as a normal video because it's a live stream and nobody has the bandwidth to watch live 4K high-res stuff. So I think it's doing all right. Cool. Best. Yeah. Okay. I see you guys with the badges too. Small bezels on phones, big bezels on tablets. Why? Oh, that's pretty simple. Small bezels on phones is because you hold it like this. Big bezels on tablets because you hold it like this. And you need somewhere to hold the tablet, and those small bezels on the outside of the iPad Pro and many other tablets is just so you can hold it without touching the screen. Can we get a shout out to Robbie G? Shout out to Robbie G. Oh, Mac. Thoughts on the Clippers this season? They were first in the West for a little bit, but I think they're like maybe sixth now, fifth. They had a pretty good start to the season. I think they will be a playoff team, and then Boban will go Boban mode and, win a couple games there. Thoughts on Prism screen protectors? I saw the teaser. I haven't tried one yet. Dbrand makes this Prism screen protector now, which is it being sold? I think it just started being sold, or either is about to be sold. But they have this teaser where they hit it with a hammer and it protects the iPhone screen. That's pretty intense. I have yet to try it, so we'll see. When will you reveal your middle name? I will officially reveal what the K stands for at 10 million subscribers. So I'm giving myself a little buffer. Showing too much cleavage? Oh, sorry, guys. I didn't realize this was Twitch. There you go. So you think Sony phones are going to make a comeback? Maybe. And I'll be honest, because I've heard this before, and I know it's true. I haven't even used a Sony phone in maybe a year. And the reason I stopped is because they all started kind of filling in the same template for me. They're very similar as far as design. So they upgrade their internal specs, and they would add small things like better fingerprint readers and better cameras. But I yet to see a Sony phone that made me turn my head. I think if they make a phone that like makes me turn my head back to Sony phones, they can make a comeback in my book. But as of right now, I have yet to see that. Phone that just drops the selfie cam altogether. That's what a lot of people think. This is what I was going to talk about in this bezel-less phone video. But if you just take that like little notch or the little punch-out camera and just remove it just because you want it to be bezel-less, now you have no selfie camera. And a lot of people are like, oh, I never use the selfie camera. That's whatever. I can deal with that. But think about the average person you know. Think about your siblings, your kids, your mom and dad. They take selfies. Like, think about the average iPhone owner. A lot of selfies, a lot of Instagram stories, a lot of Snapchat, FaceTime, video, Skype. Like, people use the front-facing camera a lot. So I think a phone company could come along and just say, hey, look, here's a bezel-less phone. It doesn't have a front-facing camera. Hope you're cool with that. And it'll be cool, and I think we'll get some videos and headlines and coverage out of it, but I don't think that's an actual solution. I think people use the front-facing camera. Sorry, like a lot. Don't ever contribute to YouTube Rewind again. You ruined your community with Will Smith memes. Whoa, that's pretty direct. Here's the thing about YouTube Rewind. It's not actually that big of a deal. It's a one video per year thing, and I would have no problem with participating with YouTube Rewind again. The problem was in how they sort of promised one thing, and it ended up turning out to be exactly what all the rest of the videos were. So we'll keep an eye on it. I'm not going to necessarily say I'm definitely going to say yes or say no to YouTube Rewind if it comes along again, but it'd be curious to see if they do a totally different YouTube Rewind for 2019. Maybe. It's also way easier said than done to like just not make a bad rewind. Anyway, that's a whole nother story. What's in your PUBG crate? Pretty sure it's empty, but we kept the crate. You could tell that from there. Do you know what that is, by the way? Do you know what that is? Do you know what this is? This is an actual flamethrower. Like, I have the Boring Company flamethrower, and when I said I was getting one, this is really heavy. When I said I was getting one, this company reached out, and they said, listen, that's pretty boring, which they're right. But we have like a real flamethrower that shoots 100-foot flames and has modular pressure, and you have a huge tank, and you can literally torch things, and they put the logo on it and everything, and they're like, here, just use this. I don't really have a place to even try to shoot 100-foot flames. Is that weird? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people wouldn't really. Anyway, that's what this is. Oh, heavy. There's also a Mac Pro over there. You probably saw that too. Will you do a Surface Laptop 2 review? I might as well, right? I might as well. Yeah. Yeah, matte black everything. Yeah, I like that idea. Do you have a go-to sitting on the toilet game on your phone, and why is it Ding Dong XL? I have no idea what that is, but I don't really actually. It's mostly just social, either Twitter or Reddit. What is Ding? Should I even look that up right now? No, don't. All right, fine. I won't. Do you think Google will finally release this? It's just a game. I don't really play that many games on my phone, to be honest. Yeah, or even I don't even want to Google that right now. Is Apple being stingy, keeping the old MacBook Air the same price? Is buying a base MacBook for photo and video editing a good reason? Buying a base MacBook for video editing is not a good idea. But yeah, Apple tends to keep the price of their old devices the same for a very long time. You can still buy this old Mac Pro for like $7,000 today. It's not even worth $3,000 today. But hey, that's the Apple way. Do you agree that iPhone and Android are both just as good and they have the same amount of quality? That's a really broad statement, but I think there are upsides to both. Yeah, iPhones have their things they do well. Android phones have their things they do well. There's reputations behind those things, of course, but I enjoy both, hence the carrying both. Yeah. You've been an inspiration to me on uploading my first YouTube video in about a week. Any advice? That's awesome. I like that a lot of people are still not afraid to start YouTube stuff now. My advice would be, as far as like what you want to get into, just make sure it's something you like, you enjoy, so that even if it doesn't ever turn into a career, you just keep enjoying it. That's like really the baseline of just having fun with it. What do you think that Apple should do to capture share in the Indian market? Also, can you try pronouncing my last name? Sugavalvu. Yeah, no, Apple has to make a cheaper iPhone. And here's the other thing that a lot of people say wrong. It's not that Apple charges too much for their iPhones. It's just that they made phones that are too expensive. They make great phones, but they're too expensive. Apple needs to actually make a cheaper phone instead of just charging less for their existing phones. Apple needs to make a cheaper iPhone. iPhone Lite. They'll never call it that. So do you know who F1 champ Nico Rosberg is now? Yes. What's the one feature that would push any given phone over the edge into revolutionary territory in 2019 aside from true bezel-less? Revolutionary to me, honestly, because of my priorities as a phone guy, would be suddenly having a better camera than the Pixel. If any phone this year, like subjectively obviously, but if I start taking pictures with it and I find it to be better and it's better than the Pixel, that would be amazing to me. So that's just high on my list. Can a conference invite you as a speaker? You can invite me, but I don't know if I'm the best public speaker. I'm pretty good at like talking to a camera, which is, hey, like that's pretty easy. But going on stage is a whole thing. I haven't ever done it yet, so I don't know if that would be such a great idea. What do you think about a Pixel Watch? I think Google needs one. Yes, I do. I believe Google needs a Pixel Watch. Thoughts on the NBA right now? Okay, here, I'll give my synopsis. I'm a sports fan. Specifically, I watch a lot of NBA basketball. My favorite players happen to be on the Rockets, so I watch a lot of Rockets games. Here's my thoughts on the NBA right now. 1, the Warriors get Boogie back tonight. They're going to be ridiculous. I don't see them losing the West. 2, Chris Paul needs to get healthy so that there's at least a chance that somebody beats the Warriors in the West. 3, the East is low-key more interesting than the West this year. Toronto, Milwaukee, the Nets just beat Houston last night. There's a lot of weird things happening in the East. That doesn't mean they're better. I still think the West has the better teams, but the East is more interesting. And last but not least, I will say my semifinals predictions are Golden State and Houston. And I'm going to go with, see, the East is hard because there's the 76ers. I'm going to go Boston. I don't know if Boston's going to get their act together, so I'm going to go with Toronto, Milwaukee in the East. There it is. That's my little... That segment's been brought to you by me watching ESPN. If no YouTube and Frisbee for a month, what will you do? I mean, I can still play with tech, even if I don't make videos, right? Some people were asking, or I actually had a conversation recently about just not having any tech or any internet for like an extended period of time, meaning like a week. I don't think I'd be able to do it, straight up. Like I do weekends sometimes of not having tech, but a week I'd either not make it or I'd have some sort of like anxiety-driven like revelation. Yeah, we've been on here for 44 minutes. Oh, I see you guys with those icons. I see you with the icons. There you go. We'll do a couple more minutes. We'll do like maybe an hour even and call it a day. By the way, like I said, this stream is not going to live on after it's recorded. It's just here. Get your questions in now, and then when it's over, it's over. So the 20,000 or so of you who are in here, this is for you. What about the next Poco phone? Yeah, I mean, I get asked a lot about the next Poco phone and about the next Essential phone, and I don't know even what I want in either of those two things. I mean, you want the next Poco phone to be even higher spec, Snapdragon 855, 6 gigs of RAM, only $1. Like, you want it to be really cheap, but the next Essential phone, I don't even know. Thoughts on the Motorola Razr comeback rumors? I actually found this really interesting. I've struggled to think of a good idea for a folding phone since I've seen all the demos. The FlexPi Royale goes from like a tablet size to a phone size, but it's just like not that great of an idea. But if you guys have seen this, if not, look it up. The Motorola Razr like comeback teaser video. It's just some render somebody did. But it's like, you know, that Razr everyone had, which was a flip phone. Imagine that. But all touchscreen, and you can fold. It's a folding phone. I don't know. I thought it was really cool. Thoughts on 5G? Not ready. Kind of like folding phones. Will you ever surf your Tesla surfboard? Nah, I'm not gonna surf it. I also don't know how to surf, so. But that's not even why. Like, I don't think anyone who bought a Tesla surfboard. That's actually wrong. I bet one person will. But most people who have a Tesla surfboard did not buy it to surf. Breaking news. PewDiePie or T-Series? Let's go PewDiePie on that one. Why read the comments? Oh, that moved too fast. Any regrets on Apollo? Not really. No, I think a lot of people wonder about having an electric car in the winter, especially in a cold environment like New Jersey. I don't have any regrets. It's the best thing I've ever driven or bought. Thoughts on Apple making a Thoughts on Apple making a punch hole display, getting rid of Face ID entirely, and putting an in-display fingerprint reader. A lot of things there. I don't know about Apple doing a punch through. I could see them getting rid of Face ID. As much as they've like pushed it in all their new stuff. Here's the other thing about Face ID. Why isn't Face ID in the new laptops? That seems like a no-brainer. There's thin smartphones. You can fit all the IR and all that stuff in the housing. Why doesn't the new MacBook Air or any of the new MacBook Pros have Face ID? Windows Hello works just fine. There's lots of other facial recognition. You put it in the new iPad, so you clearly seem to be somewhat committed to it. Why fingerprints in the laptops? I don't know about that. Do Face ID. Somebody actually suggested they should have a notch in the new MacBook Pro. No. But Face ID would have been cool. Do you keep a Hydro Flask in your backpack because you like it there or because it doesn't fit in the side pocket? Oh, it doesn't fit in the side pocket. I almost never have been able to fit water bottles in the side pockets of backpacks I own. Maybe I'm buying the wrong backpacks. What phone, if any, would be your daily driver for more than 2 successive generations? Let's go with Galaxy Note. No, let's just go with iPhone. iPhones last the longest, basically. iPhone 10, still a great phone today, even though 10s came out. Just put iOS 12 on your 10 and you might not even notice a difference. Will phablets come back thanks to foldable phones? I really don't know about foldable phones, man. I don't have a good reason for foldable phones to exist yet. I'm waiting for that good foldable phone demo. There's a lot of demos, and they're all bad. All right, a couple more minutes, a couple more questions. SpaceX or Boeing? I mean, I fly on Boeing planes all the time, but I think SpaceX is pretty cool. iPhone 10 has a battery life than the 10R. Yeah, and then it came out with that battery case, which is tight. But you get a really long battery life if you put the 10R in that battery case. Will you be buying the 8K mirrorless camera? I don't think that exists. I don't think it's real. I saw that 8K mirrorless camera in a little glass cube at CES. And like I said, CES, full of great ideas and great demos, but a lot of them will never actually exist. That, you saw it in like a little glass cube, and there's some people sort of did videos about it, but I don't think that thing turns on and actually shoots 8K. I think it's a great idea, and I think it's cool that they carved 8K mirrorless camera on a camera, but I don't think that exists. Please prove me wrong. I would love to play with an 8K mirrorless camera, but I don't think that exists. Will you join Floatplane? No. Is Linus still watching? No. Sorry. Why do you think Google consistently seems unable to ship a phone without serious bugs and such? That is actually a great question that a lot of people would love to be able to answer, including Google. They seem like they have all the money in the world to do something like that. And if anyone could make a true iPhone replacement competitor, it would be Google going all in on hardware, right? They have amazing software. But yeah, they're very buggy and they don't make great hardware. So it's been kind of frustrating. Wow. If OnePlus gets a $200 to $300 price bump because of 5G, then how much will the other brands cost? That's a hypothetical that is really hard to extrapolate. I think Carl said that if they added 5G now to a OnePlus phone, it would add $200 to $300 to the cost. But I also don't think they're actually going to add $200 to $300 to their new phone to add 5G right now. Yeah, that's about it. 5G is not ready. How about 5-minute counter? 5 more minute counter before I wrap it up. Yeah, we got 5 minutes. Best place to watch your Ultimate games? Oh, great question. So this summer I'm playing for the pro team out of New York called New York Empire. So we have home games in New Rochelle, New York. So if you're like in the tri-state area, that's a great place. If not, we will play games up and down the East Coast of the United States during this whole summer. So Toronto, Ottawa, Montreal, so those are Canadian stops, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Philadelphia, Washington, D.C. Am I missing one? I think that's it. That's it?
New York, yeah.
And New York is our home. So that's the U.S. stops. So if you're in any of those cities or metropolises or areas, then check out, if you just Google New York Empire, you can find their schedule and you can come to a game. There's also many other AUDL teams all across the United States and Canada. So if you are in a U.S. city and you just want to go to a Frisbee game, look up the AUDL, the American Ultimate Disc League. They could have paid me a lot for that. How's the wallpaper TV holding up? Well, it's holding up, which is good. Yeah, it's fine. I really like it. It's one of those like hard to recommend but hard not to like products. You know what I'm talking about? It's probably not something most people are familiar with, but there's this category of gadgets that will like, I'll either get here or they'll show up here and they're like amazing and I love them and they work perfectly for me, but I could never recommend them because like there's no one else like in my shoes for that particular thing. Like the jellyfish we just got. Amazing. I only know 1 or 2 other people who I could even recommend it to at all. Like some people said I should review it, but anyway, wallpaper TV is one of those things. It's amazing, but like you don't really need a $10,000 TV stuck to the wall with magnets, do you? Do you? Would it be possible to have a selfie cam under the glass and switch off the pixels when taking pics? I think that's the goal with OLED, that sort of transparent OLED, that technology may be possible in the future. Also, I got an official statement from Honor about the slight shadowy darkness around the camera on that last video. And that's apparently because in an LCD, that sort of backlight, it's bleeding through. So they had to darken some of those pixels so that it doesn't interfere with that camera and bleed the light into the lens. Which, I mean, it makes sense, but like, if I'm not taking a picture with the camera, you don't have to darken those pixels. I don't know. That's what they said. So that's the pinned comment that I left. I can't believe there's still 18,000 people watching this, but thank you all who are leaving comments and who are members and who are just being all around amazing. Best headset that has a good mic. That's one of those things I don't get into much because that's a very, very gaming thing.
Doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist. There's decent ones, right?
You don't
True. So it depends on what you're getting it for.
Sennheiser.
Sennheiser, I agree with that. Sennheiser and Audio-Technica make headphones with good quality mics, but if you're using this microphone just to like game and talk with your team, like the mic quality doesn't really matter too much. But if you're using this microphone to like make videos, you probably don't want to get a headset mic. You want to get a separate mic. Yeah, get a Blue Snowball, a Blue Yeti, spend $40 and get amazing sound. Is this live stream a beta test for the podcast? Somewhat, in a sort of way. It's going to be an audio podcast, but I think for members, we're going to have a little something special, so this is sort of a test of that. Thoughts on Hackintosh? I think it's another fun idea. I did a Hackintosh a couple years ago, and it was a lot of fun, that project of like actually getting it to boot and run OS 10, and I had my own custom-built Mac. That was really satisfying. But there's always little drawbacks of things like compatibility, no warranty support. If something goes wrong, you can't bring it into Apple. So there's like little downsides some people are willing to deal with. The specific one that I built a couple years ago, the little downside of the x86 system that I chose to use compatibility-wise was that I could never shut it down. So I could never like go into standby or ever sleep anything. So I just never did. So it had like an obscene amount of runtime. But hey, Hackintosh is different every couple months. All right, power round. Last 2 minutes. If you guys want to just go ham with the comments, I see you guys that are members. I see your logos, and I'll just start crushing through questions. Thoughts on the Note 10? Coming soon, but a Galaxy S10 is going to be more exciting. Any Apollo updates? Yes, I gave them. Scroll back like 20 minutes. AirDrop alternative for Android? There really is none, and that's a big part of why iOS is so great, but I'll say Dropbox. I Dropbox all the time. Glowing Apple logo on the MacBook? No, I don't have one, but I have this unreleased dbrand skin on my MacBook Pro, and it has a little cutout, so it's not glowing, but it's glossy, so it's pretty cool. But I think I'm just gonna cover it. So I like totally debranding my stuff. Welcome, Android Q. We don't know the name, but it's gonna be Android 10, and since 10s are exciting, Android Q will be exciting. Thoughts on Luka Doncic? Rookie of the year, obviously. Is there even a second choice? Thoughts on Google Edition S10? Oh, wow. I didn't even think of that. I don't think it's going to happen. Google Play Edition's been dead for years, but I'd still love to see that. Team Crispy Live 2019. Very slim chances of that happening, but stay tuned for other sort of similar updates. Samsung or Huawei? Let's just go both. Gotta love them. Would you go to Mars? I don't think the internet on Mars is that great yet, so I'm going to hold off. Ultimate Frisbee backhand or forehand? I play a lot of D-line, so I pull a lot, so I'm just going to go backhand. MacBook Pro or Air? MacBook Pro, just because I need like a little extra power for like photo editing sometimes. Shouts out to... whoa, that's moving fast. Do you watch Talos of Tech? Yes, great guy. Pixel 4 thoughts? Better not have a big bathtub notch, please. Thoughts on micro LED in smartphones? Unnecessary. It's also a buzzword. Don't worry too much about that. Thoughts on orange phones? Is that a reference to Apple phones, or am I just missing out? iPod 7 thoughts? I can't believe people still buy iPods. So there's that. Thoughts on PewDiePie? Cool. Oh, I just missed a Jack Williams comment. Are New York Empire going to be unstoppable with Jack Williams? Yes. Thoughts on AR? I think it's cool, but I think VR's cooler. What does the K stand for? I thought you could get me with that, didn't you? How did you find out about Daft Punk? How do you not find out about Daft Punk? I think I'll end it at that. Thank you, everyone who's been hanging out in the chat. I think we should leave it for like another minute or two because of the delay. I don't know if I should greenlight that. I just want to say thanks to everyone who's been hanging out in the chat. This was a pretty good test. Pretty good test, right? We got audio. We got video. We got the Procaster mic from Rode. We have this audio interface. We've got a pretty good sense of what we want to do, but this has been good. This live stream will not live on. It will be, how about I unlist it? So it's not going to show up on my channel, but if you want to go back and scroll back to see if your question was answered, you can stay at this link. Anyway, okay, yeah, that's been it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.